Tonight on the South Today, a Southland recycling business is turning old plastic bailage wrap into something a little more useful. A South Dunedin business is taking on the tough challenge of finding a new home for abandoned pets. And the Christchurch City Council is leading the charge, showcasing the future of the city's transport. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. A Southland business is turning plastic waste into profit. Recycle South is using a new machine which they say has never been seen before in New Zealand, which helps farmers get rid of a particular plastic problem.
Turning tons of farming plastic waste into useful pellets. Recycle South has installed new equipment at its recently built recycling plant in the Southland town of Makarewa to process used bale wrap from farms.
Well, the benefits are that we aren't having people burning or burying it in our environment. It means that we're also providing jobs for people, and we're providing for our disabled people, which is the main reason for Recycle South in the first place.
The charity-funded $2 million plant has been operating since July, with 300 tonnes of bale wrap from Southland Otago farms having been processed here already. McMurdo says the machine is new to New Zealand and filters the material before compressing it into dried pellets. They can be recycled into fresh bale wrap or used in drainage pipes and water tanks.
Made it as user-friendly as we can for the farmer to be able to bring in their wrap at a cost, of course, and have it processed environmentally in an environmentally friendly way.
Recycle South hopes if they can prove the success of the operation, it will encourage similar new plants to be built across the country. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Voters in the Cromwell region got the chance to hear from their local election candidates this week, which included a visit from an unusual slime monster. The potential voters listened to debates around Three Waters and future local government reform at the Meet the Candidates event inside the Cromwell Presbyterian Church. Along with the usual political lines was one unusual Otago Regional Council candidate who appeared to thank the current councillor for allowing fertiliser in the waterways.
This has allowed more grass to grow, to put more cows on our land, more cow urine, which means more nutrients in our waterways, which blooms glorious slime everywhere.
Local body election voting papers have been sent out in the post, with ballots needing to be returned by the 8th of October. The young owner of a new pet store in South Dunedin is a woman on a mission. Amelia Seals says although there are a number of ways people can buy animals, she believes her new business has a big point of difference.
A unique perspective for this South Dunedin pet shop. Every animal for sale or display at Scales, Feathers, Fins and Fur has either been surrendered or rescued. 22-year-old Amelia Seals set up the new venture this month, but already has a lengthy history of looking after animals.
I have run Axolotl Rescue New Zealand since I was 8.
She says she was fortunate to have a mother who's a veterinary nurse, as she brought home every type of stray animal when she was young. That inspired her to open the business Scales, Feathers, Fins and Fur earlier this month, pursuing a venture that suits an animal lover.
Literally just one day I decided, went on Trade Me, had a look at buildings and found this place, and yeah.
And while there are the expected cats, dogs, fish and more, Seals says more rare types of animals have been surrendered too, including these illegally imported geckos. There's also a few members of the rodent room among her menagerie. Ferrets are usually considered pest animals, but Seals insists she's got a functional relationship with the Department of Conservation. Her new business on King Edward Street is a step up from having a crowded animal house, but she has plans to expand.
The aim is to hopefully move on to farmland in a few years and expand even more.
And while her goal is to find forever homes for the animals, Seals says people are welcome to simply come and pet the furry members of the flock. In Dunedin, the South Today.
An iwi-led Plant Nursery in Invercargill has celebrated an impressive milestone. Te Kohaka o Tāne is the name of the charity-run Plant Nursery, which specialises in growing native varieties. They're celebrating having supplied more than 150 plants to restoration projects across the region in their first year of business. The nursery's success was marked with a festival atmosphere featuring kapahaka, carving and kai, with 300 supporters joining in the event. The homegrown ecological group are now planning a new nursery in central Otago based on their achievements in Southland. Christchurch is aiming to lead the charge towards making the switch from fossil-fuelled vehicles to cleaner forms of transport. A recent expo hosted by the Christchurch City Council showcased the country's largest public display of new battery electric vehicles.
Charging ahead, with more than 50 brand new battery electric vehicles of all sizes on display. Around 9,000 curious visitors were attracted to the Christchurch City Council's Take Charge Expo at Te Pae Convention Centre over the weekend. The two-day expo giving drivers and passengers a chance to get up close to a new generation of cars, off-roaders, vans, motorcycles and mopeds.
Letting the public see the latest technology that's available right now in New Zealand to look at and use or purchase.
Among the popular vehicles on display was the country's first battery electric double cab ute. Crossley admits the event is designed to motivate Canterbury vehicle owners towards an ambitious goal.
By 2030, the district's target is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by half by 2030. That's 8 years' time. So we need to get on and do it, and a lot of people are.
Figures show on-road petrol and diesel transportation currently makes up about 36% of greenhouse gas emissions in the Christchurch district.
There's a real bright future out there, a whole mix of opportunities to reduce emissions from transport, I think, and it's quite exciting times.
The council is hoping an uptake of zero exhaust emission vehicles, along with encouraging other modes of transport such as cycling and public transport, will help them reach their target over the next 8 years. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. Looking to reduce air noise, Queenstown Airport could be in for a major redevelopment. And a group of Kiwi downhill skaters who are struggling to get overseas for the World Champs.
Wake up, Dunedin! My mate John's having a daylight savings sale. Daylight savings ends this weekend.
And my mate John
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Queenstown Airport is developing a 10-year plan in an effort to reduce air noise, despite a forecast influx of passengers. A strategic plan was originally developed in 2018 to expand the air noise boundaries at the airport. But strong community feedback encouraged the airport company to go back to the drawing board. Long-term forecasts suggest there will be more than 3 million passengers through the airport each year within the next decade. But Queenstown Airport CEO Glenn Sowry says that doesn't necessarily mean more planes will be landing. Newer aircraft are expected to have 20% more seats on board and be quieter than current planes. A group of Kiwi downhill skaters are hoping to hit the slopes in San Juan, Argentina later this year. They're aiming to compete at the World Skate Games, but getting overseas is proving a challenge.
These skateboarders are putting in hours of practice perfecting their skills in Christchurch, but it's not the only challenge right now. A team of 7 New Zealand downhill skateboarders are hoping to compete at this year's World Skate Games in Argentina. It's a major event, but getting there is proving a big financial hurdle.
This is Olympic level for us. The World Skate Games are sanctioned by the International Olympic Committee, and it would be great if there was that recognition there from official sporting bodies that we are top level athletes. We've been training for this for a long time, and yeah, it would be great to get a little bit more help and support.
Entry into the World Skate Games isn't easy. Kiwis wanting to participate must work through the national body Skate New Zealand. But with a large number of skate-related organisations and very little funding, there's just not enough money to go around. Mars says New Zealand skaters are well recognised on the international scene, often outperforming at competitions relative to our country's size. This group have set up a Give a Little page and are hoping the public will assist them in raising the Kiwi flag again on the world stage late next month, this time in Argentina. In Christchurch, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Recycled South is stopping wasted plastic balers wrap from being burned or buried with its new pellet making machine. Amelia Seals has set up a new shop in South Dunedin. Its goal, to find a home for abandoned animals. And the Christchurch City Council is leading the charge as it hosted one of the largest electric vehicle expos in the country. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect in the paper tomorrow?
Well, driver numbers are continuing to dwindle, so quickly into the Tigers' reduced bus timetable looks unlikely in the near future.
Okay.
So we'll see how that rolls. A veteran pilot has slammed the clowns who shone a laser at a rescue helicopter earlier this week. So, you know, that's an incident that's happened a few times. So that's clearly a concern.
Yeah.
Dunedin mayoralty candidate calling for a revamp of the George Street system. Claims that the introduction of the one-way situation there would lead to increased crime in the area. So that's a view. And a positive story, we have 300 graduates from the Otago Polytech celebrating their academic achievement by parading through the town today.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's nice. Yeah.
Yes, no, definitely. Thank you for sharing. And we look forward to your paper tomorrow, Barry.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, lots of sunshine on the way for the next few days, taking us through the rest of the working week and into the long weekend for a one-off Queen Elizabeth II Memorial Day on Monday. Heading to the top of the South Island, some rain with easterlies up in Nelson tomorrow with a high of 15. Fine with 18 and gusty easterlies in Greymouth. In Christchurch will be showery with nor'easterlies and a high of 13 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago now. Nor'easterlies with some cloud across the board here. Temperature-wise, expect 13 in both Ashburton and Timaru, with Iwamaru heading for 14. Westwards now to the Central Lakes. Lovely and fine with light winds through here. 16 for Wanaka and Alexandra, and 15 degrees over in Queenstown. Heading further south, another fine day through here with light winds and highs of 15 for Balclutha and Gore, and expect nor'easterlies and 13 degrees over on the coast at the Catlins. Now down to the deep south. Fine and cold tonight in Waihopai and Invercargill with a low of 3 degrees. Friday looks mostly fine and sunny with scattered cloud and westerlies, the high 15. Into the weekend, cold with showers to start and cloudy as well, with cold southwesterlies clearing to a sunny afternoon with a high of 12 degrees. And lastly, heading to Ōtepoti, Dunedin. Some cloud tonight with nor'easterlies and a low of 7. A fine Friday to come with low cloud in the morning and then breezy nor'easterlies and a high of 13. Saturday brings more sunshine after northerlies and a cloudy start, up to 14 degrees. And that's the news this Thursday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. But coming up after the break is this week's edition of Football Chat, where Football South CEO Dougal McGowan chats with the newly appointed Southern United Football Development Officer Chris Ridley. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite a popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.